Mapayapang hapon Pilipinas! Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja Elizalde, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH Radio at sa mga nanonood sa DZRH TV, lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Art thrives on courage, the courage to evolve, to challenge norms, and to break away from the familiar. Hindi sapat ang maganda lang sa paningin. Para maging mas makahulugan, art must also provoke, question, and reflect the rawness of life. When artists step out of their comfort zones, they give birth to something honest and genuine, something that resonates beyond aesthetics, kahit minsan ay hindi agad maintindihan ng iba sa unang tingin. Siguro nga, it is in the unfamiliar, the unpredictable, and even the uncomfortable that art finds its future. And in celebrating distinct voices, we open space for transformation. Not just in art, but in how we see the world. Kaya't huwag kayong aalis. Sa hapong ito, samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan tungkol sa outsider art, kasama ang mga artists na bumubuo ng The Brut Collective na sina Reb Belleza, Ron Lopez Davis, and David Kaufman. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
ACS. Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at madupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Nandito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama natin sa hapong ito sina Reb Belleza, Ron Lopez Davis, and David Kaufman, also known as the Brut Collective. Magandang hapon sa inyo, Reb, Ron, and David. I got that right. Welcome to Art to Art.
Magandang hapon.
Welcome to the Brut Collective. So speaking of the Brut Collective, Reb, you once described creating it, the first meeting,
Yes.
as a spontaneous combustion.
Yes, yes.
So let's go back.
Okay.
Paano nabuo ang Brut Collective? What brought you three together?
Ganito yun. Nag-iisip ako ng grupo dahil may grupo ako dati na nag-exhibit at nag-residency sa Venice, Italy noong 1999. So gusto kong ulitin yung concept ng may like-minded individuals na magsama-sama ulit. Noong 2018, nagka-show ako sa Shangri-La, sa New Gallery, tsaka sa Artistry Gallery. And at the same time, nag-open si Ron ng show niya with Carlos Celdran sa Archivo 1984 Gallery. Ang common denominator namin, yung may-ari, si Dr. Juan Marty Magsanok.
Okay.
Tapos pinuntahan ko yung exhibit nila, nagustuhan ko yung trabaho ni Ron. And Ron and I would see each other mostly at auctions, at cocktails or the reception. We would always see each other and we would always comment about art. And I thought Ron was a very good fit with the art I was doing. Sort of like a parang metaphorically it was the same, I would think, but different at the same time. And then next chapter in 2023 to 23, David, who I know, we're all Lasalites. We're all
I
from
see.
Lasal.
Okay.
David, who I know from Lasal, and is my Facebook friend. Or he's my brother. So he said, I have a show. I was surprised. I was like, you're in the stone business. Okay, you have a show. I'll go. And then when I saw his show, it convinced me that I had I would have like the third member, like of the group. So because his art really spoke to me, and I was moved. So we got together, and then one lunch together, and we made plans, and we approached a gallery, a kind gallery owned by Miss Gia Santos Estrella, and she agreed that we could have a show. And then a year later, I think, after our first meeting, or like a year later after our first meeting, we got the show. It was also in July of last year, and then we were just blown away by the reception of the audience, because it was a full house. I mean, tinataas ko na yung bangko ko. Masaya kasi hindi namin ni-expect yung reaction ng mga tao sa amin. So, madaming nagpunta, may mga national artists na nagpunta, tapos naging viral siya. Tapos, pagkatapos nun, nag-decide kami na in the month's time na-extend pa kami. Every Saturday or Sunday, pupunta kami doon. And then we met a lot of people. Yung mga bata, pumupunta. So, we would probably get 90 to 100 people a Saturday again, coming again and looking at their artworks. And then the artworks really spoke for themselves. So, ayun.
Okay. And so, why the name Brut Collective?
Oh,
It's so distinctive.
It comes from Jean de Beaufay's manifesto, or thinking of outsider art. You know, I come from the college, UP College of Fine Arts. And whatever I learned there, I kind of wanted to forget. And then, meron din yung, syempre, madaming gatekeepers, madaming cliques, madaming
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
naman.
it's everywhere. No, so parang mahirap, naisip ko parang ang hirap naman kung sila lang yung grupo na nabibigyan ng plataforma para mag-show. So, nabuo ko to at nabibigyan kami ng plataforma para mag-exhibit kasi nakapag-show na kami right after sa J Studio. Nasa Cebu kami kagad a week later sa Cube Gallery. So, ayun, tapos nag-art fair kami. Okay naman yung reception. So, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm proud. I'm proud to be called an outsider.
Yes.
Because yun ang katotohanan eh. Yun ang katotohanan. They can have their cliques. I have my own clique. I have my own band of of people who we think alike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So Brut art, it's supposed to challenge the polished aesthetic of mainstream art. For each of you, what does raw mean when it comes to your process and your message? Paano ninyo ito pinapakita sa inyong mga obra?
Okay. Sa mga trabaho ko, ginagamit ko yung mga color, parang colors have heat signatures, diba? If let's say if you're using an infrared camera, if you see body heat, you'll see a heat signature.
Yeah.
Colors are warm or dark, hot or cold. I also use imagery of the shapes of colors and letters and then let's say you see one of my pieces and you see a number. In your head, it'll say 2. It looks like a number 2. But eventually, it'll turn into an object. And hopefully, it'll resonate an emotion in you or some sort of reaction. Yan yung hinahanap ko. I'll cause you to think. a little bit, and then after that, hopefully you'll end up feeling it. And then that's usually how it gets. So I use very bright colors, very dark colors,
Yeah.
and things make no sense. It's fun sometimes, because there's something I try to engage you and try to make sense of it when it makes no sense at all. But it's like they'll try, what are they trying to say? Is it 2 plus 2? Is it, they'll try to form a word, or he's trying to say something. In the end, it'll just wash.
Okay.
And then it'll become an art object.
All right.
Right? Or
Okay.
that's what I look for. And nahirapan ako minsan mag-Tagalog, pero yan yung gusto kong mangyari pag tinignan mo yung mga obra ko.
Okay, thank you.
Salamat.
Ron, David, what about you?
Para sa akin, that's what you're gonna get.
No, dude, that's great.
Basically, I've been painting since I was a child.
Okay.
Okay, I was just telling Reb and Ron that always was exploring new ways of producing images. I never had formal training. I'm a businessman, so everything I did was sort of like intuition. You know, like as a kid, my mom and dad are separated, so we would always stay in the peninsula. You know, my favorite is the halo halo. I would always have the halo halo. We stayed there, and then if she would stay for extended periods, we'd be in Charter House.
Yeah.
So during the time we were in the peninsula,
Yeah.
you know, I would look at the ceiling and I would see that sun by the national artist, right? So I made one myself. So I would get glass. So I didn't know anything. So I have no formal training. So I would break the glass, get newspaper, get glue, and make it into a mush, you know, and that's more or less what I've been doing since I was 5 years old or 8 years old. I've been basically inventing processes. So they'll attest that, you know, I send them pictures. I don't show these pictures to the world. I only show it between us. And they see me walking home with bags and bags of stuff that I find. Like I just had a live painting session with Miss Universe Pia Wutzbach. And so I did graffiti. And I never was into graffiti, but I got into that in Spain because we lived there half the year.
Okay.
And so I had no studio this particular time because I was exhibiting in Munich, Germany. So I couldn't get my own studio. So I just asked the building, he's a count, so he can do anything he wants. So I said, can I do graffiti while I'm here? He goes, yeah, go ahead. So I trained myself how to do graffiti. And so then when I was scheduled to do Pia, I felt I need to start and finish within 30 minutes, so I have no time to paint with a brush.
Yeah.
Because I have to finish it, it has to dry so that I can bring it and it's done, right? So I said, I'm gonna do graffiti. And as I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, I made a big mess. Because I put like a smiley face. So I'm like, this is so ridiculous. You can put a smiley face. I mean, this is Miss Universe and they put a smiley face.
Yeah.
It's like, so I started to erase the smiley face while everyone was watching there. The owner of, you know, all these billion-peso companies were watching, plus media people. And I was there doing a smiley face. Then I erased it. And as I was erasing it, something magical started to happen. So I guess you could say my process has been intuition mixed with chaos, mixed with mistakes, mixed with discoveries. And then I evolve into something and create some form of, you mentioned evolution. So there's a forced evolution. Like they'll know, like almost 3 years, I've been obsessed with portraits. So it's gone from sort of zoom out to zoom in to the point that it's only left with the face. And then I even went to Pia and I go, I'm sorry, Pia, but you might feel uncomfortable. So the other people, all the billionaires were standing there and I had my phone like this in her face like that. And Pia was like, don't worry, I'll erase it after. I haven't erased it. But because it's okay, you don't have to erase it. Because I literally was probably the closest, probably even closer than her husband, has even gotten to her face. That's how close I was. But because the painting will never look like the face. But somehow it affects the way, maybe like music affects your dance. You know, you don't see the music in what you're doing, but it affects your movement, how you interpret it. So my movement in my creation is, of course, controlled by whatever it is I put in front of me, right? So, and I don't want to discriminate like between rich, poor, beautiful, ugly. Like so the next day, just to make a point to myself, I painted a person with elephantitis from a beauty queen to elephantitis because I want people to know. A lot of people think you're elite, you know, you went to this school, that school. But I want everyone to know I treat everyone equally, from Miss Universe to a homeless person. So, and I also have no formal training. So everything is pure self-discovery. It's pure self-discovery.
Yeah, that's his trajectory.
So I am limitless. It's like I am completely free. Like he had to unlearn. I never learned. So I'm teaching myself. It's like, it's self-teaching. So my teachers are actually basureros. It's junk shops. It's suppliers on Facebook Marketplace. It's people I walk in Davao. You know, these are the people. Then it clicks. You know, then I'm in the market, and then I'm looking for a metal worker. So I talk to a tricycle driver, and the tricycle driver points me there, and I point there, then points there. Then now I'm doing sculptures with a metal worker that worked on a ship, who is incredibly brilliant. He's like Castrillo, but just never was discovered. So now, so I'm harnessing the community. So I don't consider art like has to be a solo ride. I don't have to be, you know, a motorcycle race car driver. You can be a community. Just like artists in the States, they work with others, and maybe like in dance, you can't just be an island, right? So you're working with steel workers, stone workers, suppliers, community. You're inventing. You know, I throw ideas to them, they throw it back. So we don't have this ego like, oh, I have to be right. I'm okay to be shut down because I'm just a conduit. You know,
Plus, we're our own worst
Critics.
No, I want to be criticized. I want to be criticized, and I sometimes I'm the first to erase my own work. Like, I will take all my old works and destroy them all. So a lot of people say, "Oh, you're oversupplying the market. How will your price go up when you have too much work?" I'm like, "How do you know I won't destroy it?" You know, it's until it's shown. It's not yet a work. It might just become raw material for my next work.
That's where the spontaneity and the combustion gets in here.
We end up pushing ourselves.
Yeah, so it's like
towards walls.
It's like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. I mean, they'll say, why do you paint so much? Well, because 250 paintings are failures. He goes, don't worry about it. They're not failures. I'm like, that's okay to be a failure because then that's how you get to your Mona Lisa, right? You only have one Mona Lisa, and he had 1,000 sketches. It's just that my sketches are on canvas, you know, and maybe they already maybe okay to others. But if everything is okay to you, then that means you have no standard. You can't. It's like if you're a dancer, okay na yan. Then you're not going to be national artist, right? You have to be your worst critic, and you have to destroy and willing to destroy. Then say, ay, may mahal yan. To me, sometimes you have to build on the mistakes. Like me, my work, all the Spanish works in Madrid, I went through it, and after, because I rejected, then I started cutting up the old works, and I would get the old work, so they were like this, and I would like slam it on I put it in the paint bucket, and slam it on the paint, slam it on the paint. So it's a new style.
So there's
So I'm trying to discover.
rawness. There's that rawness. There's this primal. How do you say? Primal scream. If you can.
So I can feel the energy actually.
So,
Okay, but keep that thought.
Okay.
Because we need to break for commercial. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan. Kasama sina Rebel Yesa, Ron Lopez Davis, at David Kaufman ng The Brut Collective. Dito pa rin sa Art to Art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art to Art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng 15 Square Art Space ang Forms and Illumination, isang exhibit na nagtatampok sa mga glass sculptures ni Ramon Orlina at mga obra ng kanyang mga anak na sina Ana at Michael Orlina. Ang mga glass sculptures ay makikita sa coffee table book na Visions in Glass. Ang 15 Square Art Space ay matatagpuan sa Callejon Cafe, 147 Legazpi Sana Street, Medisyon 2A, Imus, Cavite. Makikita ang exhibit hanggang July 30. Binuksan sa publiko noong July 1 ang Circle of Light, isang art installation na binubuo ng halos 3,000 solar lamps sa Iwasang Rizal, Manila. Handog ito ng National Museum of the Philippines kasama ang Sun Life Philippines, Litter of Light at Odang Putik Art Space. Ang naturang art installation ay tinagurian bilang largest display of solar-powered lamps ng Guinness World Records. Makikita ang Circle of Light hanggang July 9. Pagkatapos ng exhibit, ipapamahagi ang solar lamps sa mga communities sa Talim Island sa Rizal at iba pang lugar sa Calabarzon. Sa musika, isasagawa ang Duyog, the first International Youth Orchestra Festival 2025 celebration concert sa July 12 sa GSIS Theater, Pasay City. Ito'y proyekto ng Manila Symphony Orchestra Foundation Incorporated sa pamumuno ni violinist-conductor Jeffrey Solares at ng Young Symphonic Ensemble ng Children's Orchestra Society New York sa pamumuno ni classical guitarist-conductor Michael Dada. Tampok ang mga kabataang musicians mula sa Children's Orchestra Society New York at Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra kasama ang Plectra, Chord Rondalia at ang bagong Himig Serenata, PUP Choral. Maaring bumili ng ticket sa Ticket World.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
ACS.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa!
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon!
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Andito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama pa rin natin ang mga artists na bumubuo ng The Brut Collective na sina Reb Belleza, David Kaufman at Ron Lopez Davis. Bago natin patuloy na pag-usapan ang kanilang mga obra bilang isang grupo, let's try to get to know each member a little more and find out what influences their art. All right, so Reb, we'll start with you. Your artistic journey began with geometric abstraction but shifted towards chaos and emotion. So, ano ang turning point para sa'yo? And does your past experience as an actor influence your artwork in any way?
Actually, bilang artista, mayroon kaming show noon yung Kaluskos Musmos. Tapos exposed kami, I knew Madam Imelda as a child, Ma'am Aimee, Ma'am Irene, Sir Bongbong. As a child, tapos nabuksan yung Makiling Art School, nandun kami nung binuksan yon. So bata pa lang ako, exposed na ako sa mga art. Lalo na I had a ninong, he was a film director, his name is Emmanuel H. Borlasa, who collected Zalamedas, Lamarosas, etc. And every time na pumupunta ako sa bahay niya, pinapabasa niya sa akin yung painting. Anong sinasabi nitong painting na to? Anong sinasabi? So yung artistic journey na yun, tsaka sa film sets, kasi ang daming time na kailangan mag-intay ka bago ka kunan ng yung shot. So, mga ninang ko, may ninang Susan Roses, would buy me the biggest crayon box and buy me several crayon books.
Yes.
So doon nagsimula. Pagkatapos in school, art club, art class. So it was just like a normal shift to go into to fine arts because I really wanted to be a veterinarian doctor.
Okay.
But then it was talagang wala eh. Fine arts, talent exam ka na lang nakapasa naman. So, yung artistic journey, parang kang humihinga. Yung every waking life mo, kung ano yung iniisip mo. Halimbawa, may gusto kang sabihin, parang pwede kang gumawa ng isang editorial kind of artwork na may sinasabi. Minsan naman gusto mo lang kulay, minsan gusto mo lang mga bulaklak, minsan gusto mo lang mga payaso, minsan gusto mo lang mga squares na nilalagyan mo ng kulay. So, para sa akin, hindi ko masyadong iniisip na yung theory or gagawa ng mga plano bago ako I look at the canvas, puting-puti siya. Kung ano yung natirang pintura ko, pinipintura ko na siya. Pagkatapos it evolves there.
Okay.
Kaya medyo may pagka-outside art kasi academically trained ka pero meron kang refusal to follow directions.
Yeah.
So ayun, yun yung sa akin. Yun yung sa akin.
So nabanggit nga kanina that you had to unlearn
Yes,
a
unlearn.
lot of
Yes. I used to do portraits
methods
for...
yeah.
Yeah.
So ano yung turning point?
Turning point yung wala na akong pakialam. Yung wala na akong pakialam. Parang gano'n.
And that comes with age.
Yes. Siguro,
okay.
siguro. Because yung concept na iisipin mo, may bibili ba nito habang ginagawa mo? Kailangan yun eh. Kailangan din yung end factor. Okay ka sa ginagawa mo, okay yung puso mo, okay yung dignidad mo.
Okay.
Pero ang end product, mabebenta ko ba to?
Yes.
Pero nung nag-start na ako na madami ng siguro nagsumusuporta, hindi ko na naisip yun. Hindi ko na naisip yun. Lalo na kilala ako sa mga payaso ko o sa ano. Natigil ko na yun. Pero ngayon binabalikan ko kasi parang yun din eh.
Obviously, ang importante sa'yo talaga is the emotion.
The emotion.
That you feel.
Tsaka syempre, yung pambili ng art materials.
Oo nga naman. Importante yun.
Importante yun.
Okay.
Tsaka like I said, kailangan ang healthcare importante sa akin. Yung mga ganung bagay. At may pagkatibak din ako. So ayun, lumalabas din sa mga trabaho ko.
Okay.
Ayun.
Alright.
Takal
Okay.
yun.
Alright. So Ron, ikaw naman, you began in photography,
Yes, I
then
did.
moved into mixed media painting.
Yeah.
So, paano nakaapekto ang experience mo sa San Francisco art scene sa current work mo? And how did your culinary background sneak into your art, if at all?
No, well, that's actually, if I'm not changing the nature of something from something raw to cook and then painting it on a plate, I just transfer that emotion that I have onto the canvas or into my photography. In the beginning, sa San Francisco, I was in a art group called the Centipede Project. So it's yung mga pinturero, there were also sculptors and people who made models and all of those things. And we would have shows, and we would have a group show every 4 months. And just to challenge ourselves and bring it off. So I found joy in that. And really, in that the end, that's what I'm trying to feel and trying to also affect whoever comes into the view of anything I make. Right? So I went to culinary school in San Francisco, and I've been in professional stuff since then.
Wow.
Still now. And I have like little projects that, of course, they don't work, they work, whatever. And I've been doing that since I was 19. And then when I used to do photography, it was about political graffiti, about imagery. And then in the end, when I felt like I'd hit my maximum na kaya ko gawin na yung style ko, I started noticing baka it's starting to look like this person, like Cindy Sherman, another Ansel Adams, whatever. So I said, let's just go back to something I really can control. And that's yung pa rin kong lagyan sa canvas. So in that sense, I try to transfer everything that I do because I'm a very hyper person inside, and right now I'm really controlled.
Okay.
Right? Like that. But then it's zen, right now. I have
Yeah.
to focus on you, and I can. But sometimes I'll just explode.
Yeah.
And then what happens is I explode onto the canvas, and however I'm feeling and whatever mood I'm in is directed there. But in the end, I have to I stop myself and I say it's finished.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say with this thing in front of me.
Okay.
And then I move on.
Yeah.
But the storyline comes in the how I use colors, and you can really tell it's me when I paint something. And that's you can really tell. These guys tell me. I go, "Are you sure?" But I'm kind of convinced now.
Yeah.
And then it's in the joy and even maybe my off kilter way of thinking.
Yeah.
Na maintindihan ako kung matignan mo yung mga obra ko. But also, I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like your kids.
I actually have
don't have kids,
two paintings in the house, like two major paintings. One of Ron and one of David. They all watch me in my studio when I paint.
Oh, okay.
There's a reminder all the time that Ron's watching, David's watching.
I kind of feel that there's a mutual
don't
admiration club
Yeah,
going on.
It's in the energy, and it's in the perspective, really.
Yeah.
Of what we're trying to achieve, and the things we don't show just alone.
Yeah.
He's shown in Munich, he's shown in Spain,
Yeah.
he's been all over. I showed in the States,
Yeah.
I showed here. But we like to show together because
Yeah.
it seems to fit.
Yeah.
But we're not like saying like, just us or nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
We meet everyone's taste.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's particular niche of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, David, you did mention that you are not schooled at
Yeah.
all. Yeah. So being an artist entrepreneur moving between Madrid and Manila, how does your travels, business life influence your aesthetic choices? What is it like navigating two completely different worlds?
Well, I try to maintain a continuity. I don't want to jump around too much in terms of my per canvas style. So I have a little album on my phone, and if you look at it, there's I think a smooth flow between the works. There's like a transition, a slow transition. So
Okay.
even when my last work in Madrid, which was a graffiti wall on the building of the Count, the next one was for Pia, and so you can see that there was a connectivity between
Yeah.
the two works. One is totally different. So I was like, how do I do this work of Pia without looking forced? I mean, how can I do graffiti on canvas? It's like, it's not right. It should be on a wall, right? It should be on cement. So you know what I did? So when I was walking near my residence,
Yeah.
they were demolishing a building.
Yeah.
And there's all of this plywood everywhere.
Yeah.
So I said, can I have that? So all this plywood, which was exposed to the weather for so long, maybe
Yeah.
20 years, so it was all peeling. So I got it all, and then I called a Grab, and I brought it home. Then I had a beautiful Art Nouveau canvas. Then I nailed it on top of it. So you could see the ornamental frame in gold leaf. Then you had the plywood nailed on it, which my yaya in the house did for me. Because
Okay.
this was really a
Yeah,
collective
yeah,
effort. So when you buy a Kaufman, you're buying also my yaya's
You're buying a community.
the community where
Yeah.
I'm just a puppet master. But anyway, so the yaya's involved, So
We're all little schizo.
So more or less, there's a slight evolution.
Yeah.
So like, of course, Madrid is full of street art.
Yeah.
So of course, that must have brought on board even the desire to do something with spray paint,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because I don't work with spray paint in the Philippines, but I guess seeing this all the time, just said, well, spray paint, okay. But of course, my work doesn't look like graffiti.
All right.
It's still my work, but then using spray paint, not out of desire to use spray paint, but out of necessity.
Okay.
Because I had no physical studio, because I
Yeah.
normally have one at Calle Valverde in Madrid. But this time, the owner said, oh, you can't have it for 2 weeks. It's 1 month or no more because I make a mess, you know. So if I'm going to make a mess, they don't want it just for 2 weeks. So they want to lock in the month. But since I had Munich, I couldn't do it. Gosh,
That you were on
what was the question? What was the question? I'm like so confused. You can't.
That's
I'm
how
like,
he handles it.
That's how I handle it.
That's how you handle
That's
it.
my
Yeah.
turning point.
How do you handle both worlds, basically?
Since
Business and
since
art.
pandemic,
Yeah.
I've been able to run my business. I mean, it's a major stone player.
Yeah.
We're in architectural stone. I
I
did
see.
Cultural Center of the Philippines.
Okay, all right.
You know,
okay.
I did hotels like Conrad. I did Peninsula. I did casino stuff like that. So it's a very big operation. I just do it by cell phone now.
Yeah,
So
all
it's a
right.
pandemic.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
really good at that, man.
Yeah.
I sign checks. Like they send me a list of checks, 30.
Yeah, okay.
Click all,
All
signed,
right,
and then I
okay.
go through it and make sure what's this. Bakit may cash na
Wait,
10,000?
wait, sign first and then you click
No,
and then
no.
and then you
Check
go
the
through
Ron
it.
Davis and Red
No,
Vanessa.
I read, and it goes, so I read the names. So it's like Ferdy, Ivan, Steven, and then I go Ferdy, Ivan, Steven, and then I leave all the cash to later on. Then all the cash, then I go, bakit may 10,000 cash? Oh, kasi may delivery, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean, so that's how I run the business. So I actually, people say, are you a full-time artist? I find that such a bizarre term. Because I mean, it's like if you're not full-time artist, you're not an artist. I mean, it's kind of like the mindset of the people.
Paano yun? Like,
Yeah.
I am a house husband. I run errands. You know,
I mean,
you have to.
Well, you
I'm
know,
just trying to
if
keep
it's
myself alive.
I mean,
I mean, it's like you.
the art is there, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
also life,
Yeah,
everyday
yeah,
life.
yeah,
Yeah,
You're a
okay,
dancer, so you dance.
yeah.
You're on stage for 5 minutes. But what allowed you to be on stage for 5 minutes? It took
Years of
50
training.
years.
Well, all the rehearsals
Yeah.
It took
and
50,
training
it took
and
50
yeah.
years. So that's like Picasso when he said, he asked a lady, goes, can you paint me something? Then he charged her 50,000. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
It only took me 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And you know the answer.
Yeah,
Picasso,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
You know the answer. So
Yeah.
more or less like that. So maybe I'm only in front of the canvas. I may be just standing there like until I'm ready. It's
Yeah.
almost like a sharpshooter.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, just because I'm not shooting all day long, like,
Yeah.
okay, so you're not a full-time shooter
Yeah.
because you're shooting
Okay.
all day
No.
long. So I'm
There was-
shooting. So I'm going bang. Then the work comes out. How did it happen? Because I did 1,000
All right.
paintings.
Okay.
So that's how it did.
Because there was a conversation of a friend of mine who I curated his show. He said, if you're not painting full time, you can't call yourself an artist. So we picked each other's brain. And I decided, okay, you're going to J Studio, you're going to have a show, I'm going to curate it. And it was good. And there was a artistic conversation also. David was there. He's now he's under my wings because I'm also a headhunter for good artists.
Okay. all
So
right.
it's not only me or
Yeah.
us or you know, it's you also give
Yeah.
and pay it forward for other artists you think that
Yeah.
can make it and have
Well,
a platform.
speaking of that, the Brut Collective is now going into its second year.
Yes.
How do you see the group moving forward since your first exhibit in J Studio?
I think this exhibit is more solid because there was so much experience in the past year. So we open again in July and we call it Exhibit 2. Yeah, I'm correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so we're talking
in-
about Exhibit 2.
Yes.
Can you invite our viewers and
Exhibit 2,
listeners to come?
Exhibit 2 po sa J Studio La Fuerza sa Chino Roses sa Pasillo. July 27 po kami magbubukas, Linggo, alas 5 ng hapon. So, ayun, bumalik kami sa J Studio kasi ang dami naming narating mula sa lugar na yon. I'm a bit superstitious. I'm like, I always like looking back where I come from. So parang swerte. Parang ganun. I believe in divine providence and blessing. So J Studio has managed to leave us alone.
Okay.
Do it on your own.
All right.
And there. Yeah.
They've allowed us to really represent ourselves without
Yeah.
having to pigeonhole us with with a one idea or
or a theme.
Yeah.
things like that.
So abangan natin yan. That's J Studio, July
27.
27
Yes.
is the opening.
Yes.
And Exhibit 2 is going to run for how long in J Studio?
I think a month.
A month. Yeah.
I think a month.
And it's on Chino Roses.
Yes, La Fuerza Compound.
La Fuerza Compound, Chino Roses.
Yes.
Okay, maraming salamat
Maraming
sa pagdalaw
salamat.
ninyo sa aming art
Yes.
programa sa hapong ito.
Salamat.
Reb,
Salamat.
Ron, David,
It's a
and
pleasure to meet you.
yeah, and good luck and more power to the Brut Collective.
Maraming
Thank you very much.
salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art to Art kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja Elizalde, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.